Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And in today's video we have this 2021 Jeep Cherokee and we're going to do the side chrome delete installation for this vehicle. So as you can see, this is how the side panels look before the installation and this is how it looks after the installation. So we used the gloss black material in order to black out the entire panel. If you like the product, link for the product will be linked below. But with that being said, let's get started with the installation video. So before we start with the installation, we need to make sure we prep each panel. So in order to prep it, all we need is water, baby shampoo mixed together in a spray bottle. Once you have your solution, spray it onto a clean microfiber towel and go to each section and remove all the contaminants that each panel may have. And also, once you're done, make sure that everything's completely dry. That way the adhesive on the film is able to tack down better and it doesn't lift over time. Okay, so when you grab your film, we're going to start by aligning the film to this section of the edge of the panel. So what you can do, you can place the film onto the chrome panel. That way you have both hands in order to align it on this side here. Align it on the edge, just like that. And once this is aligned, just follow through with the rest of the panel. And with this one, you could use the lower section as the guide in order to align the rest of it. So just follow through with the rest of it. Lift the film carefully, that way you don't accidentally tear it. And just continue on aligning it to the lower section, and then once we're done, we're going to tack it down with our squeegee. So once you place the film, grab your squeegee, start tacking everything down. Make sure to remove any air that may be underneath the film. And with this whole entire panel on the top, grab your heat gun, apply heat in order to tack the film on the top section. And then once we finish applying heat all over the film, we'll trim off the excess material on this edge. So grab your heat gun, start applying heat on the entire panel. That way the film starts to mold to the design of the panel that we're installing it on. And then we'll trim off the excess material out. And then once you finish applying heat, just remove the excess material on the edge, trim it off, and that's pretty much it for this one. And then you would go all around the film, making sure if you do see any more excess material on the panel, you would carefully just insert your blade and trim off the excess material. Just like that. And then the same steps that were done for this piece, you would repeat it for the top piece on the rear door. And then once you're done, you would move on to this piece here. All right, so once you finish installing the top two pieces, now we can move on with the next piece. So with this one, all we need to do is make sure we align it on this side. And basically the same steps that were done on the top, you would repeat it here. But for this one, you just need to make sure you get yourself in the material to cover the chrome that's underneath the mirror here. So what you need to do for this one is use this bottom half as the guide in order to align it. I would recommend placing the film on the chrome panel like that just for now, and that way we could focus on this section. And placing the film on the edge here, you could fold it like this, that way we place it underneath and the film is able to tuck in underneath here as well, just like that. You then grab your squeegee, start tacking everything down just on this section here, that way it doesn't move. Leave it like that. And all we need to do now is lift the film carefully and finish it off by aligning it on the lower section of the panel. And now that everything is placed down, grab your squeegee and start securing everything. Make sure to remove any air that may be underneath the film as you go. And then once you're done tacking everything down, we're going to apply heat. That way the film starts to shape into the design of the panel. So grab your heat gun, apply heat to help the adhesive activate and also helping the film start molding to the design of the panel. And then we'll trim off the excess material. And make sure with this piece here, like we did earlier, just tack it underneath to secure it. Now we could trim off the excess material. So just grab your blade, insert it in the gap, and just carefully trim it off, just like this. And on this top section, there is a gap where you can insert your blade. You can also open the door, that way you have more room to work with, and just trim out the excess material. Just like that. And for this side, we can apply a little bit of heat or trim out the excess material if you want, but just make sure that you're still covering the chrome panel, and that should be good. Seal the edge with heat since it was trimmed off. And then for the top section, we're also going to trim off just a little bit of excess material. So I'll show you guys how to go about it right now. So for this top section, if you lift the film on the top, you are going to notice that the chrome ends on this top section here. So it's between here and the window gasket here. So once you place it, create an outline with your finger. That way you know where the chrome ends. Once that outline has been created, then we could insert our blade and trim off the excess material. And you just do this all across here till you reach it to the edge. And then don't forget to trim out the excess material on this side as well. And you just remove the rest of the film, continue on until you reach it to this end. And the same steps that were done here, you will repeat it for the rear door. And then once you're done, we move on to the last piece for the quarter window. So when it comes to installing the piece for the quarter window, just make sure you align it to the edge here and place it down. That way we can work on aligning it here. And also something to keep in mind with this piece here, you are going to receive just one extra piece that belongs to the driver's side. So what you could do with that extra piece is you could test it, get a feel on how to go about with the installation. Just in case when you're doing the installation with that extra piece, you know how to go about it when you install the actual piece. It's just one piece that we're giving as an extra piece. That way you guys get a feel of how to install it on the quarter window. So for this one, make sure you align the film on the edge. Once it's on the edge, follow through underneath the panel to align the rest of the film, just like that, and do the same for the top. This one, you don't necessarily have to follow either side. As long as you have the material to cover both ends, you should be fine. So just follow until you reach to the other end, so just like that. Make sure before we squeegee, double check and make sure everything will get covered. If it looks good, then we can move on to grabbing a squeegee and tacking down everything. Make sure you remove all the air underneath the film. And once we remove most of the air, we're going to apply heat starting off around this curve. That way we help relieve the tension that it has here. And then once this is secured, then we could finish off by applying heat to the rest of the panel. So like I mentioned, do this piece first, apply heat. And as you notice, once you apply heat, the film starts to soften up. Now all we need to do is use your finger to help it tack down. And then you would just continue on doing this step until we secure the entire film. So right now it's tacked down, it's not lifting, but just continue applying heat just a little bit more in order for the adhesive to activate and tack down to the curve. So now this is all tacked down, and you see right here, this is all excess material that will get trimmed off afterwards. But first we need to secure everything else. So you could do that same thing on this section here. Apply heat, use your finger in order to help tack down the film to the curve. And once everything's tacked down, then we should be good to go. And like I mentioned, do the same steps for the top and the bottom section panel. So once you finish applying heat on both panels, now we can remove the excess material. So with the excess material on the bottom section, there is just a small gap in between the gasket and the panel. Find that gap by making an outline and then just insert your blade and you can trim it off just like that. With this piece you could open the door, just slightly lift the film, open the door. Do the same for the top, remove the film, open the door, and you have more area to work with to remove the excess material there. If you're scared to remove the film, just lift it up to where the chrome panel ends, grab your blade, and just remove it right in the center of this gap here. And this should look like that. And then just apply heat to help it tack down on the edge. And then do the same for the top. And then just finish it off here on the gap, trim off the material, and remove the extra material that we needed to trim off. And then just go all around the panel, double checking and see where else we need to trim off the material. Either if it has to be here on the top, just go all around, create an outline with your finger, and then you can trim off the extra material. Okay, so once you finish with the whole installation for the side panel, the last thing to do is to post heat each section that was installed. So you're going to grab a heat gun, go section by section, make sure we help the adhesive on each film activate faster. There is still some film lifting on the edges, help it tack down with heat. So just take your time securing each panel, and then once you're done with this step, you're done with the installation. Thank you for choosing Bogar Tech Design. As a small business, your support means everything to us. If you loved your product, please drop a review. If you have questions or issues, don't forget to message us via email. Once again, thank you so much for the support from our family to yours. So that concludes the installation video for the side chrome delete installation for the 2021 Jeep Cherokee. We hope that this video helped you guys out with the installation. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of our upcoming installation videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.